You need to build a database in CI Tools. A lot of the building is done for you. However, you need to build tables that contain information about your cathodic protection infrastructure, such as what test points you have and where they are located. Survey tables are one of a few types that are not automatically created for you in CI Tools. In this video, we will look at how to build a survey table. Typically, every survey requires a table. There are two ways to build a survey table. You can manually add each test point from within the CI Tools interface, or you can import as many test points as you want from a CSV file. This is the easiest method unless you only have a couple of test points. In this video, you will learn how to prepare CSV files for importing to CI Tools. There are two types of survey files that you might want to build. Template files are useful for preparing for a survey. They have test point data, but no measurement data. Template files look like this. They have columns to define the functional location. For a pipeline application, this may be pipeline, section, KP, test point. For a tank farm, these might be site, area, tank, test point. Ideally, you want to include the geographic location for each test point. This isn't a requirement, and the location can be captured during your first CI Tools survey. However, without geographic data, CI Tools cannot help you find your test point, and the Find Closest Test Point feature will not work. You will also want to define the protection criteria. Usually, this is -850. The other type of survey file you may want to build is a historic survey file. These are used for importing historical records into CI Tools. They have both test point data and measurement, or survey data. Survey data usually contains a date, time, on and instant off potentials and comments. I will demonstrate building one of each of these types of tables for the bogus gas pipeline. I have a test point list called BGP test points. I will use the validation tool to turn this data into a BGP template file. I also have bogus survey records from 2012. I will use the validation tool to turn this data into a historical survey file. In my folder, I have my test point list, the historical survey records from 2012, and the validation tool. This is the test point list. You can see the functional locations, geographic locations, and protection criteria. My survey records are much the same, though it has the measurement dates and times, measurements values, and comments as well. So let's get started. This is the validation tool. It has the same columns as the test point list and the survey records, but several more as well. The guide page, as well as the guide colors, will show you what data is necessary and what data is nice to have. There are 4 functional location layers. You can rename them however you want. Pick something that suits your type of asset and your company's jargon. To create a CSV file, start by copying and pasting data into the correct columns. I have already done this from the test point list to create a template file. I will validate the data by clicking the Validate button. There are no errors. There is a warning to say that some entries do not have measurement data. This is okay because we are making a template file which should not have any measurements. Click Export, enter a file name, and save. The exported file will be saved in the same folder as the validation tool. Here is the exported file. We also want to make a historical survey file. I will open the bogus survey file, copy the dates and measurements, and paste them into the validation tool. Click Validate. Wait, the tool has found a problem with the dates. This is because have pasted times into the dates column. I will move them and get the dates from the survey file. Click Validate. This time there are no errors, so I will export. The file has been saved in the folder. Now I need to put these two CSV files on my phone. Email and AirDrop work best. In the next video, We will show you how to make a new table in your database and populate it by importing these CSV files.